family friend Keith here, and Keith
Hi.
Keith is exploring Australia and New Zealand along with his family, and I am fortunate to spend some time with Keith. And he is a very senior American Airlines pilot and flying Boeing 777, which is I think third largest aircraft. And first is A380, second is 747, and third is 777.
Yes.
And mostly he fly long haul. And today he will share his technical, operational, and maintenance experience with us and to the viewers. Hi Keith, you are ready?
Hi, sure, go ahead.
Yeah, all right. So welcome to Australia.
Thank you. Lovely
So
to be here.
how you are feeling coming to Australia?
Australia is a wonderful place. There's so much natural beauty, things to see, and people are so great. So I always enjoy Australia.
Okay, so no thanks. And tell me about yourself, Keith.
Well, I was from Los Angeles and started flying there a long time ago, back in the 1970s. And always enjoyed flying and anything to do with airplanes. Used to go watch the airplanes take off and land all the time. Listen to the airplanes on my radio. And then I was old enough, I started taking lessons.
So at what age basically you known first plane? What age?
Oh, 12.
12. Oh, that's very early. Yeah. So basically who inspired you to fly the plane?
Wow. Well, every time I flew on the airlines, I'd meet the pilot and he'd give me the pilot wings, the junior wings. So well, one day when I grow up, that's what I want to do.
I'm also very keen to fly, but I'm not that lucky. Okay, so what was the first plane you flew?
I flew myself, or was a passenger?
No, by yourself.
By myself, Cessna 150.
And with passenger?
It's also Cessna 150.
Oh, okay.
My father was my first passenger.
Oh, okay.
Reluctantly.
So you were not scared?
No, he was scared.
You were scared?
I was 17.
Oh, okay. Okay. So what other types of planes you have flown so far?
Oh, the Cessna, Piper, Beechcraft,
Okay.
Boeing and McDonnell Douglas, Handley Page.
Okay. So what is the difference between old and new versions of Boeings? Generally you are flying Boeing series?
Well, the Boeing's the basic Boeing hasn't really changed all that much in the last 50 years. But what's changed is the technology they've added.
Okay.
So instead of having to do things ourselves or have the third pilot known as the flight engineer to control the systems, it's all automated now so that we can fly with only 2 pilots. So while some people don't have a job anymore, it saves the airline a lot of money.
Okay, that's very good.
Technology has put the flight engineers and the flight navigators and the radio operators out of business.
Yeah, so what do you reckon, which plane is easiest to fly?
Well, none of them are easy to fly.
Yeah.
But I think the 777 has some advanced systems that assist the pilot in emergency situations. So when things are going awry, it's easier to control the airplane than, say, a 727 or 737.
Because why I'm asking this question, I was listening to the interview of A380 pilot after the first flight, like a maiden flight.
Yeah.
So he was saying it's like riding on the bike. It's so easy. I don't know if it's true or not.
Well, yeah, but it's not for beginning pilots,
Yeah,
right?
okay.
It's for people that are highly experienced, and if you're highly experienced, it does make it easier. Yeah.
So what will be your next plane? What do you feel?
Well, the only other plane for me to go to would be the 787 Dreamliner.
Oh, that's fantastic.
But maybe sometime in the future. I'm not sure when I would do that yet.
But I believe it's a very fuel efficient plane.
Oh yeah, it's about
Carbon
one
fibers.
third more efficient than the 777.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
And to my viewers, what the difference between like four engines and two engines? Like why they keep four engines? Why they use four
Well,
engines?
there are fewer and fewer four-engine planes today. They just they're retiring most of the older 747s.
Yeah.
Although Boeing is still producing a new version, the Dash 8,
Okay.
which only a few airlines are purchasing, and of course Airbus has the 380. But it's simply because of fuel economy, I think. Even three-engine planes are not being produced today. So everyone has gone to two-engine planes for the most part. There's some A340s,
Okay.
but they're no longer being produced, and they'll be retired in the next few years as well.
So what type of technical, mental and financial ability one should have to become a pilot?
Well, to get a pilot license, it doesn't really require much education. It requires some money. So to be recreational private pilot, it's an investment and it takes some study. So it's not something to be taken lightly.
Okay.
But for people that are have a serious interest in it, it's a wonderful hobby and it can lead to a wonderful career as well.
Okay, that's good. Okay, and tell us any worst incident you came across or you faced when you control the plane?
No, we have problems in the simulator. So,
Okay.
Engine fails, or the electrical system fails, or the hydraulic system fails,
Okay.
and so you have to know what to do.
Alright.
And we are faced with severe weather, with wind shear, with running close to the mountains,
Okay.
and try to escape from the mountains.
Yeah.
All these things they put us through.
And could you please tell us any technical or operational things which most of us are not aware of?
Well, the plane doesn't take off by itself. It can land by itself, but there's no plane that can take off by itself on the autopilot. It's not programmed for that, and but many people think that the plane can take off by itself. It can't.
I think before last week I was reading one news, one pilot, passenger, he flew the plane, he landed the plane. I don't know if it's legit. He was unexperienced, but
I've seen that in the movies. I haven't seen a real passenger with no experience landing a real airliner. I haven't seen that.
true. Even if air traffic control they guide.
You know what? Air traffic control doesn't know how to land the plane either.
Exactly. They just tell the direction and height. You are right.
Yeah, they tell you what to do, and if you don't know how to make that comply with that, then you're in trouble.
So what is your future plan in this aviation industry?
Well, I continue to fly international flights for the next few years until I retire, and then probably get more involved in flying drones and maybe do some consulting, or be some other type of instructor in aviation somewhere or something.
And Keith, I have watched your interviews on CNN, basically on Mr MH370.
Yeah,
So you want to say anything? Share?
MH370, it's still missing.
Yeah.
I don't know where it is. Nobody knows where it is. I followed it, as you know, with great interest.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to make a plane disappear. You have to turn off a lot of systems to let it not be tracked, and then you have to fly very low to stay off the radar, and then you have to fly to a very remote area of the planet to lose the plane, where satellites and radar are not tracking anything, and then you can lose the plane.
Oh, thank you. So the last question.
Yeah.
Like, what is the maximum speed you traveled with? You flew with or without tailwind?
Well,
If you remember.
with tailwind, we get to, there's a difference between airspeed and ground speed. So the speed the plane flies is different from the speed that it travels over the ground.
Talking about the ground speed.
So with the tailwind,
Yeah.
we've reached 700 knots, which is about 1,300 kilometers, I think, something like that. So it's pretty fast.
Yeah, because I have flown, like I traveled at 1140 maximum.
Yeah.
By Singapore Airlines.
Yeah,
it was
so if had
747.
like 200 knots tailwind, you can go pretty fast.
All right, Keith, thank you very much. Thank you for
You're
your time.
welcome.
Thank you.